The first time I saw her was through the frost glass viewport of a refugee transport hovering above Delta Vega, the broken mining world where humanity's last evacuation ship still came and went. She stood apart from the others, cloaked, silent, eyes fixed on the burning horizon. Around her neck, a faintly glowing pendant pulsed like a heartbeat beneath her collar. I didn't know her name yet. I only knew that she was not human. The ship's manifest identified her as Subject Lyra 9, a non-hostile alien refugee from the Karath Expanse. But the way soldiers avoided her in the corridor said more than any record could. Fear disguised as respect. When she noticed me watching, her gaze met mine. For a second, the pendant around her neck flared brighter, a shimmer of blue-white light that danced across her throat. And that was when it happened. The moment I said, "Are you all right?" The necklace glowed. Not just brighter, alive. As if my voice had triggered something deep inside it. She froze. Then whispered, barely audible, "You shouldn't be able to do that." That was how I met Lyra, the girl whose secret would unravel the fate of both our species. The war that broke the sky. By the time Lyra and I crossed paths, the Human Dominion War was entering its 12th year. The enemy, the XYR Collective, had wiped out half our colonies with weapons that folded space and turned matter to ash. I was Commander Ryan Hale, pilot and intelligence officer of the Terran Vanguard fleet. My job was to track what little we knew about alien tech, stolen data, relics, biological fragments, anything that might give humanity an edge. So when the evacuation logs showed an alien wearing unknown tech glowing in response to a human voice, my instincts screamed artifact. When the ship docked at Station Helios 9, I pulled strings to get her transferred to my custody. Officially, she was to be interviewed for interspecies cultural documentation. Unofficially, Command wanted to know what that pendant was and why it responded to me. The interrogation that wasn't. When Lyra entered the debriefing chamber, she moved like someone who had lived too long in silence. Her skin shimmered faintly, not scales, not flesh, but something in between, like light trapped beneath glass. She sat across from me, her hands folded, the pendant dim against her collarbone. "You've been quiet since we met," I said. "Do you understand Terran Standard?" "Yes," she said softly. "I learned it before your kind called this sector theirs." Her voice carried an accent that didn't belong to any known world. The pendant flickered once, as if echoing her words. I leaned forward. "Tell me about the necklace." "It's not a necklace," she said, almost sharply. "It's a key." "A key to what?" She hesitated. Then, with eyes like liquid silver, she whispered, "To your extinction or your salvation." The middle, a bond across stars. Over the next few days, she revealed more, in fragments, half-truths, and long silences. The pendant wasn't just an artifact. It was alive, bound to her through something she called soul resonance. It stored memories, voices, of an ancient civilization that once ruled both her world and the human genetic ancestors seated across the spiral arm. "The Karath and humans share a root," she said. "Long before either of us were separate species, we were one people, shaped by those who came before." I didn't know whether to believe her, but the pendant did. Every time I spoke, it pulsed with that same soft radiance, reacting to my tone like it recognized something buried in my DNA. She studied it with me in the dim light of my quarters, whispering incantations in her own tongue, the words like music I couldn't forget. "You awaken it," she said once, her voice trembling. "I don't know how, but it listens to you." "What does it say?" I asked. "That depends," she murmured, "on whether you're ready to hear it." The secret transmission. 2 weeks later, everything changed. Station Helios 9 received a distress beacon, a Terran fleet under attack near the Cradle Nebula, a region long thought to be uninhabitable. Command scrambled every available ship. But before they could jump, a faint pulse came from Lyra's pendant, synchronized with the beacon's frequency. "It's a trap," she said suddenly. "The XYR are using a wormhole lure. The moment your fleet jumps, they'll be erased." I stared at her. "How do you know that?" Her hand brushed the glowing crystal. "Because this key holds the map they're using, a fragment of their own technology. And because I helped them build it." The room went still. "You're saying you worked with the XYR?" "I didn't understand what they were doing," she shouted, trembling. "They used my people's knowledge, the resonance network. They turned it into a weapon. They wanted to erase every voice that could remember who we were." Her pendant flared, blindingly bright, projecting a holographic pattern into the air, a swirling map of interwoven wormholes, each one pulsing in rhythm to her heartbeat. I saw it then, the trap, the coordinates, the false signal that would have annihilated our entire fleet. "Lyra, you just saved us." Tears shimmered in her strange eyes. "No. I'm only trying to undo what I helped destroy." Middle continued, the bond grows. From that day on, we were inseparable. Command authorized her as an alien collaborator, but to me, she became something far deeper, the bridge between our worlds. We spent long nights in the observation dome, decoding the map the pendant revealed. When she spoke, stars seemed to shimmer in her voice. "You humans," she said once, "you fight so fiercely for what you love. My people lost that long ago." "Then maybe it's time we teach you how to hope again," I said. Her lips curved into the faintest smile. "And maybe I'll teach you how to listen." Every time I laughed or spoke her name, the pendant glowed. It began recording us, our voices, our emotions, our arguments. She told me it was learning, evolving. But something else was happening too. The more we bonded, the weaker she became. Her hands shook. Her glow dimmed. And when I asked why, she told me the truth. The key is consuming me. It needs a balance. 2 hearts, 2 lives bound by resonance. 1 Kareth, 1 human. "Then let me help you," I said. "You already are," she whispered. The betrayal. Weeks later, Command intercepted a hidden transmission, not from the XYR, but from within the station itself. Someone had leaked our coordinates. The traitor was Admiral Sloan, my superior officer, desperate to trade alien technology for peace. He ordered that Lyra and the key be surrendered to the XYR emissaries approaching under a false truce. "They'll spare Earth," Sloan said coldly. "That's all that matters." "No," I said. "They'll erase it." When I refused the order, he had me arrested. Lyra was taken to the docking bay in restraints. But the moment they tried to separate her from the pendant, the entire station's power grid flickered. The key reacted violently, discharging bursts of energy that shorted every control panel. In that chaos, I broke free. I found her surrounded by guards, the pendant pulsing like a dying star. Her eyes found mine through the smoke. "Ryan," she gasped, "you have to take it. It's linked to you now." I caught her as she collapsed, the pendant burning against my chest. "It's yours," she whispered. "Only your voice can unlock its final memory." What memory? The one they killed us to bury. The revelation. The key's light enveloped us both, and for a moment, I wasn't on Helios 9 anymore. I stood in a vision, a vast hall of light and sound, filled with figures of both human and alien form, gathered before a colossal crystalline core. A voice, not Lyra's, not mine, echoed through the void. "We are the architects. We created both of you, Kareth and human, as twin branches of one destiny. The key binds your voices, because only together can you restore what we began. Images flooded my mind. The destruction of ancient worlds, the rise of the XYR from the ruins, their vow to silence all who remembered the truth. When the two awaken, the veil will break. The network will return. The darkness will end. I fell to my knees as the vision faded. The last thing I heard before collapsing was Lyra's heartbeat merging with mine through the key's rhythm. The ending, the choice. When I awoke, the station was in ruins. The XYR had attacked, drawn by the key's activation signal. Lyra was dying. Her glow had nearly vanished, her skin turning translucent as the key siphoned what was left of her life force. "Ryan," she whispered weakly, "the architect's message, it's true. The key can restore balance, but it needs a voice to awaken it fully. Then tell me how." "You must speak the name of the one you love. The resonance will bind it to your heart, but the energy, it will destroy you." I shook my head. "We do it together." Her silver eyes softened. "If we both speak, the key will choose one of us." I didn't hesitate. "Then let it choose." She smiled faintly, pressing her hand against mine. Our voices rose together, ancient words spilling from her tongue and echoing in mine. The key erupted in blinding light, its glow spreading through the corridors, through the very fabric of space. The XYR ships outside were torn apart, not destroyed, but disassembled, their matter rewritten into streams of pure energy that joined the expanding wave. I felt her fingers slip away. "Lyra," I shouted. Her voice echoed in my mind. "Now you know the truth, Ryan. You were never just human. You were the other half of us." The light swallowed everything. Epilogue. The voice that remains. I woke up on the surface of a new world. Not Earth. Not any planet I'd seen before. The sky shimmered with unfamiliar constellations. Around my neck, the key hung, cold now, its glow faint but alive. When I spoke her name, it pulsed once, like a heartbeat answering my own. Then her voice filled the air, soft and eternal. "The architects rebuilt what was lost. You carried the last voice of humanity, and I carried the first of Kareth. Together, we became their bridge." I looked to the horizon, where twin suns rose over a landscape of crystal and cloud. The war was over. The XYR were gone. And for the first time in centuries, humans and Kareth walked the same ground. Every settlement began with a whisper of her name. Every light that shone came from the same resonance we had awakened together. I still wear her key. Sometimes it glows when I speak, not bright, just enough to remind me she's still there, listening in the quiet between stars. Because when her necklace glowed that first day, it wasn't a reaction. It was recognition. And the secret she revealed didn't just change everything. It became everything.